Hello, worldies, and welcome back to my naughty little channel. Today, I want to reveal how every insult is really just a confession. And so I'm going to go through and give you a breakdown. I specifically want to talk about the insults that get used, against pretty women, against exoticals, things like that, things I've seen in the media around just commentary, comments, and stuff like that. And we're just going to dive into how pretty women get insulted differently. Like, even in the exotical space, you can see how women who can't relate to the nuance of being maybe bullied or dealing with negativity, even when you're on a pedestal, they can't relate. They're going to invalidate it or something because it's like they've never been insulted in that way. They don't really so they can't connect to it. It's not because we don't get insulted differently because we're worse, but because we're extremely triggering. Most insults are not really just neutral observations. They are coping mechanisms. That's why a lot of people are always talking about cope. That's a cope. It's that's not an observation. That's just how you're choosing to cope with how my existence is triggering you. So I'm going to translate the insults that people throw at pretty women and I'll translate them into what they actually mean. And basically how this video is going to go is I'm going to go into insults that I can show you and prove how people grab those and hurl them at pretty women because they don't feel neutral about them. They insult them because they feel threatened by our position. Oftentimes pretty women, we threaten other women's social rank in their perception, men's control, other people's self-esteem, and oftentimes the illusion that life is fair. A lot of people, they want to act like we live in a utopian society that we don't. There is privilege. It's just the whole thing with people who feel like money is bad or the money is the root of all evil. It's okay, you can choose to be broke and say, oh, I'm going to be a broke martyr. I'm not giving up my coins for that. I'm just because you have guilt or shame or some kind of conflicting thing around some sort of privilege, that's not going to stop the next woman. So, insults are usually used as psychological warfare or status warfare. So we're going to go insult projection and maybe a response. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. That might be something if I feel like it's relevant or if it comes to me, I have some notes I took. But I want to start with one that's been used against me a lot. But it's the dumb blonde or the this one is not necessarily tied to hair color, but the ditzy, airheaded, dumb type of stereotype. So when somebody insults a pretty girl with that, what are they projecting at that moment? They're projecting how unsafe they feel by the notion that somebody could be so pretty and so smart. Nobody's going up to the girl who played Precious or going up to Rasputia and being by the way, I really think you're kind of dumb. I actually don't think you're that good at your job. I actually nobody's going up to that woman and trying to find a flaw and bring her down. If anything, they're going to and Precious, didn't they get that girl tutors or I don't know. I haven't watched that movie in a while, but it's they're more inclined to try to help that woman. Dang, she already looked like that. We might as well help her get a scholarship or something. But as a pretty woman, it's you're already ahead of the game. Why do you need all of these other things? So they basically, for them to feel safe, your beauty has to come with a weakness. That's their coping mechanism. So it's it's they make it your whole entire identity. It's I don't have to be perfect to prove that I'm not ditzy. I don't have to it'll be you ever been around this type of woman who's highly condescending towards you? It's they just come up with like these random facts and everybody's supposed to know it. It's one thing to be like, oh, hey, did you know the? And then it's another thing to be like, oh my God, you didn't know that 9 times out of 10 when I've come across that type of energy in a woman, it's like, okay, she feels threatened by me in some type of way, because it's like, why are you like, if I was your dumb, ugly, fat friend, you wouldn't be going out of your way to make me feel like even stupider. And that's bad. Like, this is not proving my point that I'm not dumb when I use a word like stupider. But I don't feel like, I think that's kind of how I reclaim that, just in a sense. Like, I don't feel like I need to get rid of just my natural authenticity and personality and be like, oh my God, if I speak in a black accent, or if I like don't use proper grammar, if I like, especially like when you're like, I talk to a lot of people who speak different languages and stuff. And I think grammar around like when you're, I'm very fascinated by like linguistics and etymology and stuff like that. And it's like, because of that, it's like grammar is not really that important to me. Like, that sounds bad. Like, grammar is not important to me, but I just kind of feel like sometimes staying too rigid in your like native language, like and the grammar rules there, can make it harder to learn languages. I feel like when you learn different languages from around the world, you kind of have to like not be like such a stick up the ass type of person and be like, yeah, in English it may be more stupid, but in another language it might be stupider, and like it doesn't matter. But anyways, I think that, you know, if you're insecure about your beauty, or if you as a pretty woman, you know, you feel like you need to prove that or whatever, you definitely can. But I just feel like I just read that as like, okay, my ability to be pretty and smart, like, yes, both of them, it threatens their hierarchy. And especially like, I know a lot of pretty women who are like nerdy, like really educated, like degrees, entrepreneurship, like all of the things, like they use their brains in their smarts to systematize their beauty and their lifestyle. Like, duh, like, how do you, like, you have to be some sort of smart to be able to maintain a schedule and a routine and budget, and like, I don't know, like, it's just like, obviously, why would she not be smart? Especially as a pretty woman, most pretty women know that we have to be smart because people are always trying to exploit us. So you actually do have to read those dark psychology books. You actually do have to understand the games men are going to play against you, how other women who are insecure may be thinking about you and perceiving you. You do have to, like, other people won't understand it, but it's like, I know a lot of pretty women influencers on YouTube that are in like the psychology niche. I've noticed that, like, that niche is basically like dominated by beautiful women who probably had the hypervisibility, people trying to exploit them, and then they were like, oh my God, I must equip myself with knowledge. And it's like, so you can protect yourself from knowing that people try to exploit you by being smart. But it also kind of, in a way, makes you, I think, a bit safer. Know that this stereotype, this projection is working for you, that people are stereotyping you as dumb. So play dumb all the time. Like always, it's just so easy to like hold on to information, hold on to receipts, hold on to proof, hold on to secrets, hold on to like your own private life, play dumb about everything. Even if somebody's trying to be passive aggressive, like anything when it comes to like down speak and up speak in the world, people trying to make you feel inferior, like dog whistle you, whatever. A lot of things you can play dumb and give people the benefit of the doubt outwardly to look like you don't know what's going on. And then people will swoop in to defend you. Like, I have no idea what's going on and why she would treat me like this. Like, maybe she doesn't have like a really bad say. Like, I don't understand. And then it's when it's like the real thing is like, yeah, that bitch is fat and ugly. And obviously she would trade bodies and lives with me. So of course she's hating on me. You don't necessarily have to say that all the time because it's like, oh, she peeps the game. Play dumb. Always play dumb, you know? Like, when you catch on to people's games, you don't have to like say it. Like, you don't have to prove that you're smart if you feel that, you know, you have value in other ways. And also like, prove it to who? Some random beluga whale? Like, why the fuck do I need to prove that to you? But I think that for a lot of them, you being pretty and mentally sharp, it helps break the coping narrative. And a lot of times they're trying to like do threat assessment on you. Like, that's why they want you to prove how smart you are, because they're already seeking to exploit you. They're already pedestalizing you. And so it's like they're trying to compare themselves to you. They're going through their degrees and their accomplishments and, how properly they can speak. And then they're just trying to see like, well, I definitely weigh 4 times as much as her, but I code switch better. Like, okay, it says like, I'm smarter than her. Like, what is that getting you? You still feel like you're at the bottom of society. You're still hating on this girl, giving her more clout and everything because you want to try to make her jump through hoops to prove that she's not airheaded. I'd rather just like play dumb and still win the game and let you still hate. I just feel like, that's an insecure person trying to lower her market value. Like, you're trying to lower the market value of the next woman over because you're male centered. And it's like, I don't know, like they're just always trying to make you look capable, that they see how easily certain things come to you. And so it's like, they're just trying to like invalidate or make you less worthy of that. It's like, well, she got this, but like, did she really deserve it? Like, I don't know. And I feel like that's kind of all I've had to say about this one. I want to move on to another one on my mind. Another note is the conceited thing. So this one, I kind of want to break this down because I feel like there's 2 ways to say this, or there are 2 separate projections. I think that there's slightly a difference between conceited and things like uppity. So I'm going to separate those out. So this one right here with conceited, I'm going to put it with like also being vain, being full of yourself, being like self-absorbed. Like, that's what I feel like is another insult used against pedestalized women. And I feel like what they're projecting onto you when they say that is that your confidence reminds them that they settled for self-hate. The reason that they'd rather just call you conceited or full of yourself is that it is for them settling. Like, you're seeing you experience what it's like to have self-admiration, positive self-talk, treat yourself properly, give yourself the things that you want and deserve, or that you feel like you deserve. It triggers their shame. Like, I think that for a lot of people, the fact that, like, if you were to just read minds, they're always projecting like these women who, like, they say they feel like they're at the bottom of society. So it's like, whenever you start saying something else, it's like, we already know that because you're complaining. You're wanting everybody to do you a favor. You want people to just date you and sleep with you as a favor. You just want other girls to be friends with you just as a favor because they can't be exclusive, or they can't think they're better than you, and they can't like not speak to nobody no more. But then it's like, when they're there in your presence being friends with you and everything, it's like, you're going to be trying to treat me some type of way because of how other people maybe treat me, or because of how I treat myself. It's like, I'm just over here treating myself well, or like, maybe I have a certain standard for people in my life, but then you want to start going tit for tat with like, oh, you're dating. Oh, what type of, positive things you've gotten out of your pretty privilege and stuff. I don't even want to get into that, but, it's just, they're literally trying to compete with you right then and there. They're trying to measure themselves against you. And it's like, because you didn't settle for what they settled for, all of a sudden, like, you're now a problem. Like, you're supposed to basically feel bad and like accept less because she accepted less. This is a lot with like mindset. This can be lifestyle, body, treatment, and relationships, friendships, the type of job. It could be like luxury experiences, gifting. It could be things like, hypergamy, or like even just you giving yourself positive experiences, like having hobbies, having like experiencing positive validation, creating positive memories. Like, so many women, they're in survival mode. And so it's like, they don't ever get to the point where they get to focus on their mindset, get to focus on their feelings, get to focus on their trauma and all of that. It's like, they're trying to keep the lights on. They're trying to keep the bills paid. So it's like, they don't even have time to try to work on doing affirmations. Like, they just wake up in hyper arousal already, wake up already stressed out, wake up, how am I going to cape for some, random MLS men online today? Like, no shade to MLS men, but the Desmond Scott, Christy Scott divorce universe is really like, it's not the men. Like, I'm not going to allow myself to be triangulated against MLS men, but it's just like, why these bitches cape it for them so hard? Like, y'all don't even know that man. Like, and I'm not just gonna cape for him because he's light skinned or whatever. It's like, he's still just like a man. And it's like, the woman that, from what I understand, he was messing over is from what I know, she's an Exotic. Christy is Trini. I don't know what else she is, but she's Trini. So it's like, I'm gonna side with her for what I like. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about that so much until maybe I do a whole video specifically about it. But it makes these women feel ashamed to think that they're just busy. They're pressed. They're on EBT, pressed about Trump, saying they can't buy no damn bag of potato chips no more. And so when they see you, maybe you're not even on EBT, or maybe you're on EBT and you're just not like addicted to processed foods. You're like, oh, that doesn't really impact me. You have a whole different life. You're not pressed about not being able to eat chips. You're not pressed about not being able to eat ho-hos and snack cakes, like, which I may be talking about the incorrect political things that are going on, but I've just picked up on that in the algorithm that like people are pressed about that. But and I don't know, maybe I'm being hella ignorant and uninformed. I don't know. That's fine. I don't pride myself on being a political activist or whatever. But when women are like in survival mode, they can't even get to the point where it's like, well, I'm not concerned what's going on with chips because I'm focused on what's going on with like organic fruits and vegetables. I don't give a I'm focused on grass-fed this, that. Like, not saying that it's a hierarchy of that, but it's more so about a survival mechanism. It's like, I just need to feed myself. Like, I don't care if I am never going to get the proper nutritional value I'm supposed to get in a day. I don't care if, I sustain myself on like ramen noodles and chips and like frozen pizzas and stuff. Like, because like in that mode, she is basically kind of resenting like that, maybe the choices that she made in her life or where she's at in general, where it's like, well, why is it that I'm trying all hard and I did all these things, but then, I get around this person and it's like they're not having to try as hard. Like, why are they not focused on the same things? Why do they, like, I'm stressed about the bills. Why this girl's not stressed about the bills and she loves herself. I don't even have time to love myself. I don't even have time to like myself. When you come across somebody like that, you're triggering their shame over their lifestyle, over their choices, over their lack of privileges, over their misfortune. And they don't, like, to them, it just, everything's about like how fair life is or what's not fair. Or with this one, even if it's not a sense of like injustice, it's just them kind of like wishing that they like either had the stability to do what you do or just made different choices. It's like some people, they have all their basic needs met and then they just like want to be mediocre. Like, it's not my fault if you want to be mediocre. Like, why are you, if you're really happy being average, if you're really happy being mediocre, then why are you so like triggered by the women who want to be exceptional, strive to be exceptional, and then feel that they are exceptional? Like, I don't understand why you're so pressed then. But to a lot of the people, what they're trying to clock as conceitedness, as being conceited and vain, is really just confidence. But it's so normal to be so self-hating, I think, as a woman, that it comes off as arrogance. Like, it's normal. We think it's very normal for women to hate their bodies, for women to hate each other, for women to be insecure and stuff like that, for women to hate their bodies for a whole week out of the month. Like, that's not normal to just not like yourself, just not like your body, to not like the natural things about your body. If women are emotional, there's a lot of women who feel like a sense of like maybe inadequacy around that, or like a sense of rejection towards that part of themselves. Like, or even when it comes to like their curves, their menstrual cycle and stuff, that is like an inherent part of you that you hate. Like, and it's not even like a opt-in, opt-out with children. You can opt into kids, you can opt out. Just because your body can do it doesn't mean you need to. But it's like, you hate something that your body does, like clockwork. Like, all the time, that there's some sort of imbalance there. Even with something like that, that can trigger women that they've settled for, pain, or maybe not having medical answers, or maybe a doctor who's not listening to them, or just being insecure. Like, some women are like, no, I don't want to have to be insecure. I actually want to be secure. I actually want to be confident. Like, and if it means that I need to change myself, then I'll do that. But I'd rather be that than like mad at the next person who just got what they wanted. Like, a lot of people feel like it's some sort of martyrdom to just like dislike things about themselves and then not change them. And they get mad at other people who either learn to love those same parts, so that what they changed was the self-hatred, was the shame, or if you like physically change something, like you changed your finances, you changed your body, you changed your lifestyle, you changed your entire environment or something like that, then it's like, so I don't have to just settle for grumbling and mumbling all the time, disliking myself in my life. It's like, no, you didn't have to settle for that, but you decided that you did. I basically feel like their anger is not necessarily just at the fact that you love yourself, but it's more so that you didn't ask for permission. Like, I'm going to make a video about this one day, and let me see how long I've been recording for. I might cut this short and do this into a series just to see if you guys like this, or maybe I'll keep recording. But, I don't like those de-appointment videos. Like, get ready for me, de-appointment videos. Stuff like that is weird to me, because it's like, so you're telling me that, you only pull out all the stops on your self-care and hygiene for a man who still could be like, and it's like really, like, there's no man good enough to be centering in the first place. And I feel like you're sending a very negative, energetic message to your body, to your womb, to like, to say that it's like, it's kind of just like, I just let it marinate, like, oh, but when we pulling out the we're gonna actually eat vitamins because we're having sex this weekend. We're gonna like actually drink water now. We're gonna like actually care about our pH balance. It's like, bitch, you don't care about your pH, but like, and then I think it's weird. It's like the women who feel like, oh, other girls wear their makeup for men. It's like, so you feel like you're not worthy of anything for your body. Like, you just go out and you serve everybody, you hate yourself and everything. And then it's like, you're only going to try to develop self-love. You're only going to try to develop hygiene or self-care because of a man. So what happens? Like, if things don't work out, I understand, like, if you're having more sex, I do get that to an extent, because it's like, yes, if you're, if you're having sex, especially with a person, whether it's like protected, unprotected, that's still a whole other person with their own sweat and fluids. So like, yes, numbers wise, yeah, you're going to have to do more. But I think for me, and for a lot of women, even if it's not specifically about like that type of care, is like, I like the energetic message and what I'm telling myself when I say, no, the man doesn't get the best out of me. Why would he get the best? So like, I could just treat my body like that already. And then he's in my life. And then it's like, oh, what I already do for myself now is conducive to like what we have going on as far as being intimate and whatnot. But that's weird to me. I don't understand. Like, I'm not worthy of dressing up. I'm not worthy of makeup. I'm not worthy of impeccable hygiene. Like, why is your hygiene just, you settled for basic hygiene and self-care, but then once you start sleeping with a man, that's when you feel like all of a sudden you're worthy of impeccable. Like, why are you not just impeccable on a regular basis? Like, I don't, in every area, every aspect, that's what happens sometimes amongst women, because it's like, it's a different type of thing that you're telling yourself, when the best that you give out to anybody is to yourself. You give the best of yourself to yourself first. You don't tell yourself like, oh, well, I'm only going to level up or whatever. Some women, they only level up, they only want to glow up, change their life, change their body, and everything is like, oh, then maybe to make my kids proud, or then to get a man, or then to like compete with the next girl. You're not enough of a motivating factor to just have these things. I think that's a very dangerous thing to be teaching yourself. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to ask for permission I think that it's okay to want the external validation of certain things, but I do, just over time, my perspective has changed. It's like I to me, that in and of itself is a bit male centered, just being like, I'll just leave my toes looking crazy. But then all of a sudden I started talking to some guy, or all of a sudden then people are going to see my toes and stuff like that. Like, but that's survival mode. For some people, it's like, girl, I don't got time to be doing all that. Like, for myself, I'm trying to pay the bills. Versus for you, if you're in a different space where you're like, it's just mandatory. Like, it helps my mindset. It helps me feel soft. It helps me feel sweet and safe. Like, I love to touch my body in a loving way, consistently, often. Like, I think that with women like that, it is them saying that, I settled for what I settled for, and you should have settled for the same. And I don't like that you didn't. And so now I'm going to try to shame you so I can be feeling more comfortable in the fact that my feminine hygiene is is male centered. My entire life, everything has to be, I have to get permission to change jobs. I have to get permission to move. I have to get permission to cut this person off. I have to get permission to talk about this, have this opinion or whatever. But you don't have to ask for permission. Just do it. Like I just don't understand why it's that necessary to be focused on the next girl. Like, you just focus. If you need to get permission in your life and you feel like you have to be a good girl, that's okay. You want to be the goodest girl that you could possibly be ever. Some people don't care. And if that triggers you, that sounds like a you problem. Like, you feeling like the next girl is being arrogant, that's just a you problem. Like, I mean, I think a lot of women out there act like the bottom of society beluga whales. When I see you normalizing obesity, I think you hate yourself. When you're absolutely obsessed with women like Lori Harvey and Zendaya and Ryan Destiny, you think you look like Ryan Destiny, you think you look like Shelly from Love Island. I think you hate yourself, but I just don't pedestalize that type of woman. So I'm not pressed about her. I'm not sitting there trying to knock her confidence or whatever. I just might be factual about things, but, I'm kind of wanting to break this into maybe more of a series where I'll pick a few insults and kind of go into them. I kind of feel like not talking so much right now, or maybe recording about something else. Or maybe I'll just record more of these in a separate video. But I want to know, worldies, what do you think about this? Like, have you ever had these specific insults used against you? How did you feel about it? Did you feel like the person was projecting? And how do you feel like my analysis is? Like, do you feel like you can take some of these things that I've said to kind of like maybe rethink through certain interactions with people? I definitely want to know down in the comments below. So until next time, worldies, eyes on the prize.